morning. I have with me in the studio to do justice to this, Obani Akinwale is here with me, as well as Jus Nwoko. Gentlemen, good morning. Nice to see you. All right, let's start from Daily Trust this morning. Daily Trust says, uproar over 37 billion naira National Assembly renovation cost. FCT justifies planned renovation. Okay, you see all that on the front page of the Daily Trust. Now, Blueprint is next, and federal government blames governors as 2,745 inmates await execution. Says 22 ex-Boko Haram members now in school. Okay, that's the Blueprint. Daily Times is next, and it says Supreme Court affirms election of Makinde, Rufai, and 6 others. PDP relishes Apex Court's affirmation of Makinde Emmanuel's election. All right, that's Daily Trust. News Direct is next now. News Direct says Supreme Court upholds Sanwo-Olu Abiodun Makinde's election victory. I dedicate my victory to Lagosians, Sanwo-Olu is saying. And Abiodun dedicates Supreme Court's victory to Ogun people. Makinde's victory, a reflection of Oyo people's will. Oyo PDP chairman is saying that. It's okay. That's what you see on the News Direct. Vanguard newspaper is next now. Vanguard says $9.6 billion PNID award. Court orders arrest of a Briton. EFCC gets bench warrant to begin extradition proceedings. You find that on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Okay, from the Vanguard, let's go to The Guardian. The Guardian says reps probe PPPRA over unremitted 1.34 trillion naira. Lawmakers allege breach of TSA policy and ask DPR to enforce ban on illegal gas outlets. Okay, that's what you see on the front page of The Guardian. The Sun is next now. The Sun newspaper is next. EFCC to extradite Britain, others over PNID scam. Court gives anti-graft agency the nod to go ahead on that, okay? You see that on the front page of the Daily Sun. Okay, gentlemen, I guess this story will interest you. The story on the Daily Trust that says uproar over 37 billion naira National Assembly renovation cost, and FCT justifies planned renovation. Well, a lot of Nigerians, in fact, social media has been awash with reaction of Nigerians about the 37 billion naira earmarked for or budgeted for renovation of the National Assembly complex. Obani, let me start with you on this. I wonder how this comes to you. The point there is the National Assembly complex is a massive complex. And if you look at it, one would say maybe it's justifiable to spend that kind of amount of money to renovate it.
Yeah, I've said severally that it's until we get to a point where we start flogging the distinguished and the honorable member of the parliament, the Nigerian system will not work. How do you justify a system whereby you have a National Assembly that is budgeting 37 billion for a country that has highest number of unemployment, for a country that has highest number of underemployment, for a country that has highest number of motorable road, for a country that decided to tax people 7.5%, for a country that has given this crop of guys 50 million worth of jeeps, and yet we're building a National Assembly complex with 37 billion, when the national budget for education is about 40-something billion. So the question we ask ourselves is that, are we saying we are training almost about 80 million or 100 million out of school children with 45 billion, and we are building a complex for just 369 members for 37 billion? The question is this. The National Assembly is self-serving. The National Assembly they are not representing Nigerians. The National Assembly, the current crop of guys are there to make more money for their pocket. The National Assembly was supposed to be the voice of the people, represent the people. They are not representing their parochial, their personal interests. You recall a few weeks ago, the same National Assembly principal member says they share the job within the principal officers. The same National Assembly is voting 37 billion for a country where there is no single road between the two states, for a country whereby they cannot even complete a rail project, for a country that fails to complete Lagos-Ibadan since 1999 to today, for a country that does not have enough budget to do major things, yet we are voting 37 billion. This is self-serving. Sincerely, Nigerians, we got to a point whereby we need to start.
Alrighty. Calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. Chooks, I wonder what you see here, because
just listen to him. I thank him because I'm able to laugh. You know, very comical, if you ask me. Some form of pessimistic optimism that I have in that National Assembly. You can just see that the class of elites who have struggled to make it to the place to exercise this type of lack of inability to prioritize our national interests. It's usually self-seeking, you know, personal interests and all that, because I don't know the relevance. And I've always advocated in the last 4 or 5 years that we should close one arm of the National Assembly to reduce some of this headache.
But Nigeria is a complex country and so large that would it be advisable to?
Come on.
Because if you look at the standards,
what you need is close down that place and create what is called adjudication. If you use your dictionary, you find what adjudication means. What do they do in that National Assembly? Is it not law that they make? Just create something that is called adjudication, put enough lawyers there to make laws for us. Is it not law making that they make in the National Assembly? That you're going to spend our hard-earned money to renovate the place where they sit down to sleep. Because that inability to prioritize ordinary citizens, when it's comfortable for them and other, you see them mounting and acting like they're interested in the welfare of Nigerians. But this has shown that they are not interested. We need to close that National Assembly and create something new that can serve our national interest.
All right. That can be put to a debate whether Nigerians would like that or not, and you know, it will take a very long process of constitutional review.
The earlier we start.
Okay, certainly that's the opinion, so I will respect the opinion in that regard. Now, from where he stands right now, President Trump is saying this is a witch hunt, this is a hoax, this is, you know, he has used different adjectives to qualify this process, and he says, well, Americans should look forward to the good things he's doing and all of that. Are there a relationship between the good works the president is doing on one hand and the issue of abuse of office in this regard?
That's the disruptive nature of the American modern-day democracy, or politics, if you like. All the great things he's done, all the promises he made before the election of November 8, 2016, nobody is interested. Now, if you take the American history or politics as it were in tandem, this is the pattern. You have a Congress that is constantly doing these things. They never make any meaningful.
But isn't that the beauty of politics, like this?
I don't know how it makes it beautiful, but you and I, we are watching. And people all over the world.
They say politics is conflict resolution.
The whole world is watching. This is not good for America in modern day, whatever. When you have a political neophyte who came on the political scene just like that and defeated the whole of the national establishment, Nollywood, the military, a political neophyte. And I'm bothered that they are not able to recognize that this man is a political neophyte, that he just came because there's a force that is invisible that is making him behave the way he's behaving.
Yeah, but so if America has a standard, that's the complexity.
This is no standard. You're making a mockery.
No.
Russia and China, they are laughing at them.
No, but the point there is that the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, made it clear.
This is very vindictive. This is hatred.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you started by pointing out that he has done a lot of great. I mean, he stood China up.
No, he said he did great things.
For the first time I can't remember the last time any government anywhere stood up against China, against their evil trade system, and all the other things that he's done.
So you really see
why is that not important? It's complete witch hunt. It's a vindictive act, the manifested hatred for this man, and I sympathize with them because.
But why do you think? Why, if you use the word hatred, why would they have that against their own?
Because
president?
it's entrenched in the politics. And that is what we in Nigeria are copying. Do you understand?
Of course, our presidential system is gotten from America.
And I'm saying to you that other nations like Russia and China and some other communist system would not. They are watching. I'm laughing at this guy. I know the way America is locked. Their policy is locked. They don't care. They think the whole world is made up of America. There are other nations, and they're just watching. We are watching, and we're discussing here.
Okay.
It's a very bad taste.
All right. Let me bring Nee into this now. Nee, one of the charges against the president, one of the issues against the president, is that he called the president of Ukraine to interfere with a domestic affair in the United States to give him, his personal interest, a boost against an opponent, which is seen as sacrilegious as far as the American system is concerned.
Yeah.
From your perspective and with that, if that is true, would you see it as a witch hunt?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Because I was able to watch the televised, the sessions they had with the lady from Russia. The leader was initially in Ukraine with the lawyers and what have you. And the testimony were there. And you could recall it that when they were even doing these sessions, Trump himself were tweeting. And perhaps, was Trump given enough chance to defend himself? Yes. But is he willing to defend himself? No. So when we say, well, I'm not sure whether the Democrats will just come up and say they want to impeach Trump when there are no grounds for impeachment. There were grounds for impeachment and Trump was there. I'm not saying the fact that since he became the president, there are issues between the Democrat and the Republican. There are issues between the true Americans and the non-true Americans. But the question is this: did you use your office to influence against a competition? They've proven it. The ambassador that was there, the lady was saying it clearly that, yes, this was done by the president. And they were asking the president, if you have a contrary opinion, come and defend it. His lawyer cannot say no. So the system play out. But like he mentioned, the American politics at the moment is a politics of 2020. And it's obvious that if care is not taken, Trump will retire. How do they put it in Nigeria now? He will retire all those political elites in America permanently. Okay. Because I'm not sure they have that kind of president in America whereby you come from nowhere and your words are law. If you decide to promulgate any executive order, that is it. If the assemblies are saying no, it doesn't give a damn. Look at what is happening to China. Look at what is happening to Russia. But don't let us also forget that there is a hand of Russia and China in all these issues. Don't let us forget that. So America needs to be very, very careful, because if they dare lose it, I'm telling you, the histories are there, and there are already records that shows that this is likelihood of falling of the America. So Mr. Trump, if he had make a proper presentation to say why and why it's not, probably this would not have happened. Okay. And you look at Pelosi. Pelosi was not even particular about impeaching him, but they gave him enough opportunity to defend himself. So he has not done that, but let's wait for the Senate. Perhaps the Republican Senate may accuse him and may not. But don't forget that in politics, America always put the country first. Exactly. So if the country comes first, we may not be too sure that the Republicans will not play what we expected them to play in favor of Mr. Trump.
This love for Trump, is this what you see? Is that the window you see that you feel that it's a witch hunt against him?
No, what I see is the change that he brought to the way things are done in the place. Yeah. And you know what change, you know what change signifies. Change is not liked by anybody, including you and I. Look at this system that you have here. The day change is brought to alter what you're used to, it brings discomfort to you and all that. That is what they are finding difficult to us.
Yeah, but the issue
there is that he's brought to the.
But the argument is that,
and it's an outsider.
Yeah, but the argument is that you can do all the beautiful things, but there's a process.
Look, they are not beautiful things. They are not beautiful things. He mounted that soapbox and declared all the things that he declared. How he's going to move the...
But Collins just said there are two different things.
No, that's what he said. I'm telling you, I am mounting my opinion to you.
From the love you have for Trump.
Not from the law.
From the way forget about the law.
Not from the law.
Hold on. You have a law. You have policies. The people who implement these things, the bureaucrats, are not comfortable. That's what I'm telling you about change. You're not listening to what I'm saying. That is Collins' opinion way back in Belgium. I am telling you here in Lagos that his opinion, I respect it. But what I'm educating you on is that Trump has policies that have brought change to the way things used to be done in America. Those are policies. Those who drive and who insist on the law find these policies very contradictory. They see it as a very hard change. The people are not entering America the way they used to enter. He's building the walls. That contradicts whatever law or whatever normalcy that you used to have.
So
this is bringing the hatred and the conflict and the vindictiveness.
Chooks, that's all the beautiful things that the president is doing overrides his obstructing Congress on one hand, and also calling a foreign government to interfere in domestic affairs.
No, he did not ask for interference. He did not ask for interference. You don't put your words in. He made a phone call, and the transcripts have been released. Now, the question I need to ask you is, since he has ascended that office, he's faced this witch hunt. So this is just an afterthought. They were just looking for this opportunity. Because we are discussing a matter who just happened about, hold on, 3 months and all that, this thing came to light. But you've forgotten that since 2016, he ascended the office of the president in America. This man has been faced one problem after another with the Democrats. So if you don't get it, you think it's about this phone call and asking somebody to. In fact, I've gone through the Constitution. I do not find where this is an offense. It just keep mounting the Constitution. By the way, this Constitution that I'm mounting is about how many years old? There's need for a review. There's need for an amendment. Change. It's time for change. And that's what he represents.
Okay. All right. Nee, just 1 second before we leave now. So 1 second.
Trump became the president via this law. So if the law was what we relied upon to become the president, you must obey the law to letter. Now, apart whatever he must have done, if he wrongs the law, he must face the music. Okay. And was he given opportunity to defend himself? Absolutely yes. Was he able to do that? He refused. Was he tweeting on the online that this, that about the parliament? Now that's the consequence. So we should not mix the good work he has done to override. An American is not a Nigeria that he will do an Indomie kind of constitution. Every time that we need this thing, you will amend the law. No, that is not
okay.
It. It's a system.
All right, gentlemen, we have to leave you here now. Thank you very much, Chukwuemeka, for coming on the program.
So if indeed nothing will happen to President Trump in the Senate, talking about his being convicted for these 2 charges that the House found him guilty on, so to speak. So what then do we make of this whole process?
So I think what American system is allowing us to all learn is that nobody is greater than the law, and there is what they actually call rule of law. As much as we agree that Donald Trump has stepped on toes, as much we have agreed that Donald Trump is coming to break down the bureaucracy and tell the system that whether you are within the system or you're outside the system, you can become whatever you want to become, and you can actually affect your policies. The question is, did Donald Trump violate any part of the law of the United States of America? Was Donald Trump given fair hearing by the parliament? Absolutely yes. And if he has not created that window outside the regular party politics of the Democrat and the Republican, it's obvious that there are grounds for the impeachment. Now, going back to the Senate for the conviction, the juror setup, and what have you, what should come to mind is that apart from the party line in America, the Americans see America first before any other person. And don't let us forget that if anything happens to Trump, the next president of America, whoever is going to take over, is also a Republican in person of Mike Pence. So what I would like to see play out is for evolving democracies and for the global democracies, it is good for us to test what the constitutions are, what did not say. And again, let me give credence to the Speaker of the House in America, the Pelosi, that if they decided to play balls or they decided to overlook, is the president like what we have playing across in Africa, you won't have this at the forefront. But they have come to show clearly that irrespective of your status, law must be obeyed. And look at the second article that Donald Trump obstructed the Congress from doing their job. Is an impeachable offense. And they've shown to us clearly that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you are doing. You must obey the law. Trump himself was elected by the law, and he must ensure that he carry out every letter of the law. What if Trump signed a law and he said this happens, and the U.S. Congress said no, and the judiciary said no? That will create an anarchy in the system. So what we expect to play out, yes, party policy will play out. Republicans want to save their own, but nonetheless, it's a test for U.S. rule of law. It's a test for U.S. Constitution. And I'm very sure at the end of the day, the United States and the Americans will come out better and brighter. And even Trump himself possibly will caution some of his action or inactions and relationship with the parliament. And you can be very sure that this is a defining moment also for 2020 election. Because if it goes the way of Trump, the question comes, what happens to those Democrats that are in parliament that voted for that impeachment? What happened to Americans? Because this is a precedent. Either the Senate voted against it or they vote in support. They are setting a precedent because if any American president comes tomorrow, there will always be a president that this has happened before, and this was the position of the Senate. So let's see how it plays out. We hope for the best for America, because if America sneezes, the entire world sneezes.